Allah.
Maybe we'll even see somebody enter into Islam.
Excuse me, do you believe in God?
Why do we call him Allah?
One more time, everyone. Okay, good.
These are the ones that we're going to be mailing out.
Ilaha. Illa. Allah.
And I bear witness that Muhammad
And that's right, we're right across the river from Palestine, as a matter of fact, here in Aqaba. The new moon, the Hilal, has been sighted for the month of Shawwal.
When the adhan is called, it doesn't matter where you are. You go and you make your salah, alhamdulillah.
Now, I think this is something that inshallah ta'ala will all be able to benefit from.
Log in now and make your contribution today to support your favorite project at donatetoislam.com.
And forward. In your hands, go ahead. Assalamu alaikum.
Hey kids, it starts tonight. That's right. First prize, $1,000. Whoa. Hey, I like that. But anybody who joins wins. That's right. Every single person who joins with us will win a prize. First prize, $1,000. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all the rest of the next 10 prizes are $100 apiece. You don't want to miss any of that. So join us and get started. First thing to do, go to the website and register, reciteontv.com. That's right. Then record your video. We'll show you how to do that. Then upload it. Then tell all your family, tell all your friends to watch it and vote for it. And who knows, maybe you're going to win the $1,000 prize. That sounds good to me. Yeah. And we'll be happy to hear you reciting too. So join us right here on Guidus TV, on social media, and of course on our satellite. Join right now. Be part of what's going on. Have a lot of fun with this, and be sure that you really memorize and understand what you're reciting too. Yep. Ooh.
You're watching The Newsroom, Islam Newsroom. The news you want when you want it, from the Islamic perspective.
Now we have some websites, alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Who is Allah?
Maybe we'll even see somebody enter into Islam.
Excuse me, do you believe in God?
Why do we call him Allah?
One more time, everyone. Okay, good.
These are the ones that we're going to be mailing out.
Ilaha. Illa. Allah.
And I bear witness that Muhammad
And that's right, we're right across the river from Palestine, as a matter of fact, here in Aqaba. The new moon, the Hilal, has been sighted for the month of Shawwal.
When the adhan is called, it doesn't matter where you are. You go and you make your salah, alhamdulillah.
Now, I think this is something that inshallah ta'ala will all be able to benefit from.
Log in now and make your contribution today to support your favorite project at donatetoislam.com.
Hey kids, you can recite the Quran on TV. That's right, beginning right now. Record your favorite surah or ayah of Quran in Arabic. Upload your videos, as many as you like. Tell your relatives and friends to rate your video on reciteontv.com. Do it now. Hey kids, you can... Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. You're watching us coming to you almost live all the way from our studios right here in Southern California. I'm Yusuf Estes, and for the next few minutes, we're going to have a great time because this is the starting of something big. Big, big, big. That's right. A lot of children out there, lots and lots of kids, are looking forward to this every single year. In the last 10 years, we have had the chance to listen to and enjoy some of the best reciters all across the country. And this is no exception. This month of Dhul Qaeda. Dhul Qaeda is the month right before the Hajj. Dhul Hijjah. The next month is when we're going to announce the winners. But we'll get back to that later. Right now, let's get started with it. How do you get started? Well, first thing you do, you have to go to Recite on TV. How do you do that? Well, I'm going to make it easy for you and let you look at this. Let's see, turn it on. Yeah, there we go. All right. Now, reciteontv.com. That's pretty simple. You got to go there. But first things to do, get your parents' permission before you go, okay? Let's do that. Let's do that. Get parents' permission. And then when you go to reciteontv.com, the instructions will be there right there on the website for you to take a look at. So all you do is type reciteontv.com. You can do that, right? Right? Okay. So then when you get there, let me see if we can make it so that you can see it real clear. Okay? All right. Now, I hear somebody signing in right now, so maybe we better wait a second and find out who's going on with us. Oh, yeah. All right. Salam alaikum. We have Dr. Sultan. Salam alaikum, doctor.
Wa alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
MashaAllah. You got all that spilled out there right away, didn't you?
Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah.
And tonight, doctor, this is really exciting for all the kids because this is the beginning of the first night. This is the beginning of Dhul Qaeda. You know that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Dhul Qaeda, 1441. Can you imagine that?
Yes.
1,441 years ago, the companions of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, they began what's called Hijrah. And they did their second Hijrah, and that was the marker. When they moved from Mecca to Medina, that is the beginning of the year of 1441. But now, this month is the next to the last month in 1441. Then next month is Dhul Hijjah. That's the last one. And then after that, we'll start a whole new year, and that'll be 1,442 years. What about that?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. It's great to have you with us today. The first thing we'd like to do is get a sort of an update about the virus and everything going on. And then we're going to be talking later in our program about some of the things that we as Muslims can do to feel better about what's really happening. All right. So give us an update, please.
Well, update is this same reality. It doesn't change from yesterday to today. It is progressively increasing in Missouri. We are seeing more and more hospitalization. We're seeing more and more sick patients, and socialization as mixing is increasing. The coronavirus is increasing. I don't know when it's going to come to an end, but at least not at the end of this year or beginning of somewhere middle or something like that of 2021. That we might see some relief, but it is just mind-boggling that how this vicious virus is with us, and with all our wisdom and all our brain and all our knowledge and all our excellence in medical care, we are still failing. All I can say is it is the will of Allah. We have to ask for forgiveness. We have to ask for His guidance. We have to ask Him for help us, because it reminds me the same kind of things were happening to Hazrat Musa's times, to Pharaoh, one calamity after another calamity after another calamity, and every time they will ask, "Oh Musa, if you take them away, we will become the observant." And when Allah Ta'ala will take away, they will they'll go back to the old ways. And I hope that we can get some out of it, moral wise, something out of it spiritually, something out of it medically, to be able to have better lives than what we are trials and tribulations we are going right now.
Well, it sounds like to me that you, like a lot of the doctors and the people in the medical field, are feeling somewhat helpless because you want to do something. You want to help the people. That's why you became a doctor in the first place. And when you see something that you can't really do anything about, well, you could try to lessen the effects and try to bring down the impact, but you're not able to totally eliminate it, and it must be very frustrating. Is that right?
Absolutely. And this is where we have to say, right now we are at the height of science, the height for everything. You know, it appears kind of weird in the scientific world to bring Allah Ta'ala in between and say that we have the knowledge, we have the know-how, we should be able to solve the problem. But in reality, it does not happen that way. We have to depend on Allah Ta'ala. We have to ask Him for forgiveness. We have to submit our will to Him, and then Allah's blessings will come on us. So talking to any scientific person, he said, "What the nonsense the guy is talking about," you know. But that's what science teaches us, to be objective and not depend on the forces that we cannot see, we cannot perceive, we cannot experimentally prove it. So anyway.
I can understand what you're saying, but I don't think it's fair for me to say I know how you feel, because I haven't really been in that position, and I don't want to know how it feels to go through what you're going through. And there are other people in the medical field who are right now themselves patients. They started out helping patients, and now they became patients. Is that right?
That's 100% true. When coronavirus started, an acquaintance of ours was in Spain. He was a physician, and as soon as he came from his family for a vacation, he became very sick, went on the respirator, and was between life and death for a few weeks. And eventually, by Allah's blessing, he has improved. So we are seeing our own professional people becoming sick. And I'm not just saying this to have any sympathy, but 3 members of my immediate family have succumbed to coronavirus. Oh. It is just in my backyard that I'm feeling and I'm experiencing this. So only reason why I'm saying in here is so that people can see that it is a serious problem. We should not take it as a joke. No mask, no nothing, no this, that we are strong people, and I've got mojo. Nothing can defeat me. Nothing can conquer me. I'm invincible. that is what the attitude of many people is. So that's why I'm just bringing to the attention that please pay attention to the reality.
Yes, I do believe that you're hitting it right on the money with that, because this is something that we really, all of us, need to think about, because it's not going to go away soon, and it is not something that we should disregard or take it for granted, because, well, okay, if I don't know somebody personally, and none of my family, none of my friends say that, nah, they don't know, so then take this the wrong way, but it could lead to disaster when people do that. Is that right?
That's what is happening right now. That people are not careful. There was one party where these 18 girls got together. Everyone got coronavirus. I don't know exactly where it was, and they all died. This was
no. No. Did that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They had a party. It was. Let me see if I got this right. They had a party.
Their party, yes.
And then they all got the disease?
All got the disease and all died. That was in the news. Yeah.
Well, let's on the lighter side, let's talk about something that I think that should make our kids a little bit happy. It is the start of, and I want to bring this out right now, because we need a little bit of uplifting. Is that right? So
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely,
yeah, we need that. So let's see what we got here for the kids. We had it right. No, I think I put it right here. There it is. Nope. Well, anyway, we'll start with this, because what we're looking for right now is something called salam. What is salam? Where is salam? When is salam? How and why? Why do we need salam? Well, it's actually, this is one of the names of Almighty God, salam. And I know most of you say, well, it means peace. That's one small part of this beautiful word in the Arabic language. It comes from the same root, sim, sin, lam, mim, that the word Islam comes from. And Istislam comes from that. And so many words. Muslim is coming from this root. Many, many, many words are coming from this. The biggest meaning of salam is the name of Almighty Allah. He is as-salam. He is the peace. And there is no peace anywhere in the universe except that it must come from Him. Now, whether you call Him God, or whether you call Him Dios, or if you call Him Allah, doesn't really matter. What matters is your relationship to your Creator. And if you believe that there's only one Creator, Allah, and you don't have to use the word if you don't want to, but just listen. The word salam is the only way to find true peace. You can check this out for yourself. Yeah. You can say, in Arabic, we say, Ya Allah, Ya Salam, like this. But you can just say, oh God, I need peace. Give me your peace. Give me your peace. You can say that, and you will be surprised what will happen. Because whenever He gives you the peace, the salam, even if you are in the worst condition, even in the worst storm of your life, even in the worst of the chaos and difficulties oppression. But still, you call on a salam. He can give you the peace. He can give you the peace. And this is well known by Muslims if they take the time to just call on as-salam. Ask salam for the salam. Yeah. Now, let's take a look at some of the words when we talk about salam. Okay, now I'm using the English language here to put this up for you, but kaif salam? You know, well, how is this salam? What is that? What are you talking about? All right. This comes from the same root, as I already mentioned to you, that the word Islam comes from. And Islam is the noun coming from a verb of aslama. So aslama is where we really want to focus on this. So put our hearts in the right way, feel really good. Think aslama. All right, you got that? You're cooking with it. All right, good. The next thing is realize that there can be security, but it won't come until we start working on our relationship with Him, because that's the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that we don't have the right relationship with the Creator, because the Creator, the sustainer of the whole universe, He knows what's going on, because in reality He already knew it before He created us what was going to happen. He knew. Okay, so it's not unknown to Him. Some things are unknown to us. For instance, let's take, for instance, Dr. Sultan. Okay, Doctor, do you know where this virus actually came from and how to get rid of it?
Well, I do not know where it came from, but what scientists are telling us that it came from the bats, and that's all we know. There are other people who say it was man-created. Who knows? Allah Ta'ala knows the best. We are just sitting far away, 1,000 miles away from China, and this for sure we know that it started in China and spread. How it started, everything, we just have to depend on the scientific community, what they're telling us. Otherwise, Allah Ta'ala knows the best.
Okay. But what if our viewers take a different avenue? Instead, well, I'm not a scientist, and I'm not a doctor, and I'm not even well versed in where this really did come from. I have heard so many people tell me about conspiracy theories and that really came from somewhere in North Carolina. Somebody else said it came by a bunch of medical guys in the military trying to... there were so many stories that came out here. But you know what? I'm just looking for a way to get through the day. I want to get through my life. So what I need is some reassurance about something. And whenever I hear the folks talking on the news and the networks and talking on the social media, Facebook, Twitter, and everything, even our president is having difficulties right now. Many people are experiencing frustrations and unrest in their life. And I think you remember that Dr. Adil also told us about the difficulties that people are facing with the experience of the apprehension, the frustration, the fear of not knowing. It's just overbearing in so many places. The burden is more than, and people are dying from anxiety. Some people even committing suicide because of this. Is that true?
Yes, that is true. That is true. You know,
and they didn't even get the they didn't get the virus.
Yeah, exactly. And they're scared of getting that. You know, here comes the best part of all that stuff. And that is, there are certain things you can do something about. there are certain things you cannot do anything about it. So the things you can do something about it, we have talked about, washing hands and social distancing and so on and so forth, a lot of stuff. You see. So those things are fine. Allah Ta'ala says, do the best of what you have. The things you don't, I put my trust in Allah Ta'ala. I'm in peace. I know that I have to die one of these days. How I'm going to die, where I'm going to die, I don't know. But this is one thing I know for sure, that I cannot die before my time is up. Therefore, why should I worry about and just paralyze myself? It's just I'm just telling my way of thinking. You don't have to agree with me, but this is my way of thinking, that I have full trust in Allah Ta'ala. When my time is come, no one can save me. When my time is not up, no one can hurt me. Therefore, what Allah Ta'ala commanded, do your best to protect yourself. That's what I'm doing. So,
and that makes sense. That does make a lot of sense.
Yes.
All right.
If you ask me what is my level of anxiety, if all these things going on, on 0 to 100, my level of anxiety is 0.
No anxiety?
No, because I'm just honestly giving you my opinion. No, I have no anxiety. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm not going to worry about it. A great teacher of mine once told me, look here, 92% of the things that people worry about, they never ever happen. You see, 6% of the things people worry about, no matter how much they worry about, those things are going to happen anyway. So there are only 2% of things you can do something about it. So 98% of all worries and all anxieties are useless. So why should I bog myself down with those 98% of anxiety producing things? That's the way I look at it.
Oh, mashallah, that does make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's take this little break right now, guys. It is time for our break, and we'll take this little break, and we'll be right back right after this. I would like to invite you to stay tuned and stay guided with Guidus TV, and so just watch these little promos that we're doing for the program, and then also when we come back, we're going to be talking about how you can find this peace that make you feel like Doctor was just talking about, no anxiety. Would you like that? Okay, stay tuned, stay guided. We'll be right back right after this. Don't go away. Stay tuned. Salam. Where, what, when, how, why. Stay tuned to Guidus TV to know more about real Salam.
Here are some ways to get Guidus TV. Via satellite on Galaxy 19 FTA. At this satellite frequency, transponder rate 5, frequency 11836 MHz, polarity vertical, symbol rate 207.
You're watching The Newsroom, Islam Newsroom. The news you want, when you want it, from the Islamic perspective.
Now we have some websites, alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Who is Allah? Maybe we'll even see somebody enter into Islam.
Excuse me, do you believe in God?
Why do we call him Allah?
One more time, everyone. Okay, good.
These are the ones that we're going to be mailing out.
Ilaha. Illa. Allah.
And I bear witness that Muhammad.
That's right, we're right across the river from Palestine, as a matter of fact, here in Aqaba. The new moon, the Hilal, has been sighted for the month of Shawwal.
When the adhan is called, it doesn't matter where you are. You go and you make your salah, alhamdulillah.
Now, I think this is something that inshallah ta'ala will all be able to benefit from.
Log in now and make your contribution today to support your favorite project at donatetoislam.com.
Recite on TV starts tonight. That's right. And all through the month of Dhul Qa'dah, and then all the way up until the time of Eid after Hajj. This gives us a chance to learn, recite, upload, and share our videos. Recite on TV. Yeah, we can't wait. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, and we are back, and we've been talking about how to find this inner peace or security. And we were listening to Dr. Sultan tell us about some of the percentage, and he was saying, well, I'll let him say because he is still with us right now. Dr. Sultan, if you don't mind, for those who just tuned in, would you just repeat that thing about, you were saying that there's some things that you should worry about and some things you shouldn't. Go ahead.
Exactly. One of great, all what I know is I owe to a lot of great teachers of mine. And one of them, talking about worries, said, hey, listen, 92% of the things people worry about, they never happen. 6% of the things that no matter how much you worry, they're going to happen anyway, and you can't do anything about it. So there are 2% of the things that you can do something about. Therefore, 98% of things people worry about are useless worries. So why should I bog myself down with useless worries? So that's something, food for thought.
And you, I think you also mentioned to us something about your level of from 1 to 10. Tell us about that. That's what I really want to hear about.
Yeah, I went actually 1 to 100. I said, if you ask me what is my level of anxiety on a scale of 1 to 100, I will honestly tell you that it is 0. I trust in Allah Ta'ala. I do whatever I do my best, and then just leave to Allah Ta'ala, because nothing can happen without His will. No harm will come to me without His will. No good will come to me without His will. But what Allah Ta'ala has ordained, I will continue to do that, do my best. See, that this is part of ibadah. We use the word ibadah. What do we really mean by the word ibadah? Ibadah is you follow the commandments of Allah Ta'ala as number 1. But that's not complete. Combined with love of Allah and following His commandments, that makes it ibadah. Just think about that.
Yes, it does. I can see that. That makes a lot of sense. All right. Now, what about this? What about this peace that we're talking about, and how can I get that? And this is something that I really wanted to focus on in this part of the program, because this it really is critical for us to know about salam. And I got it right back here behind me. Let's take a look at that real close, okay? And the word salam, we said that it is something very intricate in that it contains a lot of meaning. There is so much about this word salam. In fact, this word salam is the name of Almighty God Himself. And when you realize that, this really makes a big difference for us to think what is really going on. What is really going on? Because if God is in control of everything, why would all these things happen? I mean, why can't we just have beautiful rivers running through and having a nice shade to sit back in and relax and have it easy? Okay, you just described something. Allah did create that. It's called heaven. It's called paradise. Jannah. Yeah, we have that. All right? And it's waiting for the believers. Okay. But there's also a real bad place, much worse than anything you would ever experience here in this life. And that experience comes for those who are not believers, who do really bad things. Make sense? Okay, so you don't get your paradise here. No. This is what the job that you do to get the paradise. But no matter what you do, you don't really earn it. But by believing in Almighty Allah and repenting to Him for the sins that we do, go to Him and say, I'm sorry, then He is the one who forgives you, and He is the one who knows your heart, and He is the one who will put you in that paradise. But this life is kind of like a test, isn't it? Kind of like a test. You do your best, and believe in Allah. And then, inshallah, He will forgive and put you in the paradise. So this life and all the things that are happening here, all the crazy stuff that's going on, and it's really crazy sometimes. But for us, as Muslims, like Doctor said, this is not a difficult thing for us, because we are going to stay in connection with Allah. That is something. And is that right, Doctor?
Yes.
And so I like to just tell you one little story here. And while I'm telling the story, I want you to think about this. And I'd like for you to really get into the feeling of the meaning behind what I'm telling you. All right? Can you do that? All right.
Yes.
Let's start out with a story. One morning, while I'm out taking my walk around, I like to walk around here, and we have some trails that I like to walk on. And I see a lady, she's sitting there on a bench, and she's busy with doing something. And as I get closer, I realize that she's got a little metal cage there. And she's got some look like baby turtles, little small turtles there. And I looked in there, and I said, excuse me, but, I pass by here from time to time, and I see you out here. I'm just curious what you're doing. And these little turtles, what's up with that? She said, well, I'm cleaning their shells. I said, what? She said, I'm cleaning the shells of these turtles. She said, anything that gets on a turtle's shell, that big back that they've got, that's their shell. She said, anything that gets on there, like, algae, the stuff in the water that gets kind of green, or scum, or anything plastic from the, waste and stuff in there. She said, I like to take these guys out and then clean it off, because if it's not clean, it inhibits or restricts the ability for it to get the heat that they need. Turtles are cold-blooded, like, snakes and stuff. They need heat. And she said, this cleans it, let the heat goes in. Also, it makes it easier for them to swim. I said, really? She said, oh, yeah. Also, this scum can make their shell become weak, and then it could corrode and actually break up, and they'll die. I said, wow, I didn't know any of that. I said, that's really nice of you. So that's why you do it? She said, I spend hours of my days that I come out here just relaxing and enjoying the view, enjoying the birds, everything, and listening. She said, but the best part is that I feel like I'm making a difference in my little way by doing this for these turtles. Then I was thinking, yeah, but there are freshwater turtles all over this whole planet, right? I mean, seriously. There's lots, and there's probably billions, maybe trillions of these little turtles everywhere. And all of them have this algae and scum hanging all over their shells, right? She said, well, yes, that's true. I said, well, then don't you think you could spend your time in a better way? I mean, really, I think your efforts are nice and everything. That's very kind. But there really are freshwater turtles living in lakes around the world. And I'd say 99.99% of these turtles don't have a nice person like you to clean their shells off, right? So, no offense, but exactly how do you feel like you're really making any difference? And the woman, she says, she started laughing, you know, at me. And she looked down at the turtle in her hands, and she said, she just finished scrubbing him off. She said, "Sweetie," you know, this is an old lady talk, you know, she said to me, "Sweetie, if this little guy could talk, he'd tell you just how much of difference that I'm making in the world." Wow. So it really is something. And what we learn from this, and I don't want to just tell stories with no meaning. The story that we just talked about, maybe you're thinking, I can't make a difference. But how about this? Maybe you really can't change the whole world. Maybe you can't destroy the coronavirus. Maybe you can't show people how much black lives really matter. But one person, one animal, or one good deed at a time. When you wake up every morning and just think, I can make a difference. I can make a difference. And that's all Islam is asking from you. That's all Allah is asking you. Try. And then I'd like to tell you about a story of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. One day as he was sitting outside the masjid there, he saw somebody coming up on his camel, coming up, and the guy jumps off his camel, didn't even tie it down, and he starts to go into the masjid, into the mosque, you know. He's going to pray. And Prophet ﷺ said, "Excuse me, you didn't tie your camel." And the man said, "Tawakkaltu Allah." He said, "I trust everything to Allah." And then the Prophet ﷺ said, "Tie your camel, then trust in Allah." So it does matter. It does matter what you're doing. When you wash the dishes for your mom, when you take out the garbage for your dad, and whenever you wash the car, or just clean up a plate or two, whatever you do it with the sense that I'm going to do the best that I can do with whatever it is that I can do, and leave the rest to Allah. Leave the rest to Allah. And we've found that we've got some very good advice coming to us from our doctors. We had Dr. Sultan is with us. Assalamu alaikum, doctor.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And you know who we have all the way from Tampa, Florida, Dr. Ado. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
And then you make tawakkul Allah. That's what you just said in that story. Aqilha wa tawakkal. That's what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told that man. You tie it, camel, and then do tawakkal Allah. They depend on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I know we didn't do it yesterday, but continuing the heart series, along with the, what you just said, and echo what you said about each contribution, no matter how trivial it is, it could make a huge difference, if it's done with the right intentions and done on regular basis. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loved those deeds. أدومها وإن قلت, the most common regular deeds, even if it was tiny little, even, I used to sweep the doors of the masjid, early in the morning, okay, it's a tiny little thing, but, whatever it is between you and Allah, as long as you keep at it. This is straight from, Surah Ibrahim. We kind of been through so many conditions, status, and pictures of how the heart can really be in a different situation. This particular verse, 37 in Surah Ibrahim, which is number 14. رَبَّنَا إِنِّي أَسْكَنْتُ مِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي بِوَادٍ غَيْرَ ذِي زَرْعٍ. You can pull it up. عند بيتك المحرم ربنا ليقيموا الصلاة فاجعل أفئدة من الناس تهوي إليهم وارزقهم من الثمرات لعلهم يشكرون. And this is a verse that refer to the heart as أفئدة or fuad, which is a plural of fuad, which is a heart or qalb or qulub. So, O Lord, I have made some of my offspring to dwell in this uncultivatable valley. You know, back then it was just desert. There was no life, there was no water, there was nothing. By your sacred house, this is the Kaaba, in order, O our Lord, that they perform the salah. So it's very, very important to establish salah, prayer, to fill some of the heart with love. I mean, not all of them. Only those who are giving a specific invitation, or if you would, to have this love in their hearts towards the Mecca and towards the house of Allah, and provide them with fruits, and so that they may be thankful. And the dua of Sayyidina Ibrahim that will continue on to, "Oh Allah, make us establish the prayers and my offsprings." He did not care too much, you know, himself initially, but then he did not forget about Durriyati. And by the way, we are the Durriya of Sayyidina Ibrahim. We're the offsprings of Sayyidina Ibrahim, Prophet Abraham, who's basically the father of monotheism. Rabbana wa taqabbal dua. Oh Allah, please accept our dua. Rabbana ighfir li wa liwalidayya wal mu'minina yawma yaqumul hisab. It's so beautiful dua. Oh Allah, forgive me and my parents and the believers on the day of judgment. And here it comes. لا تحسبن الله غافلا عما يعمل الظالم. Don't think Allah is not aware of what the polytheists or the wrongdoers or the zalimin, that they continue to do injustice. إنما يؤخرهم ليوم تشخص فيه الأبصار. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would delay them to the day where their eyes will be staring in horror. مقطعين مهطعين مقنعي رؤوسهم لا يرتد إليهم طرفهم وأفئدتهم هواء. Again, the heart is related to fuad. Afida is the plural. So this is the hasting toward with the neck outstretched. Allah give us this 3D image of what it would be like. Their heads raised up towards the sky, and they're gazing. Their gaze returning not forward, and then their hearts are empty. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala af'idatum hawa, that they described them because of thinking, because of the extreme fear of the day of judgment. So this is just a kind of a very important dua that Sayyidina Ibrahim made it, and that will stay to the day of judgment. There will be always people have their love in their hearts that Allah chose them to go to His house in Mecca to the day of judgment. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among them.
Ameen. 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 That's a very good dua. Make Allah make us of those people of paradise. I like that. I like that a lot. MashaAllah.
Yeah. Sheikh, I was pondering on the story that you told. Somebody might say, come on, give me a break. What difference in life? What cleaning the shelves, making life. But I tell you something very interesting. This was a matter discovered in 1960s, and that was that whatever you do, it affects the universe as a whole. Give you one very insignificant example. For example, if I decide to have a cup of coffee, what the hooch you or the world could give that I want to have a cup of coffee. But if you see the impact of that, this affects the farmer who farther out in Colombia or I don't know where he was raising the coffee. He's being affected. His kids are being affected. All the ways transportation it is affected. My local grocery store is affected. My electrical company is affected because I'll be using electricity to make coffee. So you see, no matter how little you do, it makes a difference. Now, if you add to, that's minuscule. But if you add 1 billion cups of coffee used every day, does it really make a substantial difference? Yes. So therefore, any good or any bad we do or people do, we must realize that is affecting us in a positive or a negative way. Whether you can perceive or cannot perceive, but this is scientific fact that is affecting the universe as a whole. Therefore, the basic knowledge, basic message of Islam is do everything good, because the only way to increase the amount of good in this universe, in this world we're living at, is by doing good deeds. When you do the bad deeds, we are taking good away from us and also from everybody else. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I like that. Dr. Adil, what your comments on that one?
Yes, I totally agree 100%. And it is now getting more and more visible and more global. So the cup of coffee is a very good example, but then it can go on to everything and anything you consume or do. The car you ride, you drive, any kind of goods or even services that you do. There are so many people involved in it. People who developed it, created it, people who financed it, people who made it grow. The IT team, the marketing, all that to bring it. One thing that actually came in today, I just found it so beautiful and so timely about how Islam, when it ruled the world for 13 centuries, have honored and protected minorities under Islamic ruling. And how much the legislature was so much fair and just to everyone. And this is straight from the Holy Quran. لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if somebody didn't, kind of did injustice you, kick you out of the house, then you have to be fair to them. Because inna Allah yuhibbul muqsitin. Then Allah loves those who are fair, and Islam is about birr and qist. For those who did not, because in Islam, in the whole entire humanity, before Islam, they didn't know what it is feel like. We could have differences, but this difference does not turn into hostility and injustice. And subhanAllah, in the legislature for the minorities and Muslims, everybody had the right of belief, freedom of belief, and whatever the belief is. La ikraha fi din, chapter 2 to verses 256. No compulsion in religion. Everybody had to go. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went to the people of the book from Yemen, and he invited to Islam. So he said, وَأَنَّهُ مَنْ أَسْلَمَ مِنْ يَهُودِ أَوْ نَصَارَ فَإِنَّهُمْ مُؤْمِنِينَ. So if somebody, entered Islam, that they become the believers. But if they want to maintain that is fine. Whatever their initial belief, that is well honored and protected, and then everyone has the right to practice their own religion, because there's a lot of minorities now going through oppression. We see this in India, and we see this in so many, Rohingya, Myanmar, and so on, and people who are now, when ruled by Islam, everybody prospered, everybody was safe, everybody had the freedom of belief, and subhanallah, there was no injustice like we see nowadays, that minorities are being targeted by this unfair, kind of treatment that is so unjust. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, always, if somebody was a senior citizen, from the non-believers, always say akbar al-kabir al-kabir, always have the more senior view be up in the front, and if somebody was not able to pay a certain debt, then they will come to the Treasury Department at the time, and they will pay it off on their behalf, whether it was a Christian or a Jewish, person under the Islamic ruling. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had, this Bayt al-Mal. How about the elderly of the non-Muslims that were living at the time? How about those who have disabilities? How about those who are literally just plain poor and they cannot afford. All those people were granted rights and they have support and basically a financial support coming out for their, from the Treasury Department, Baytul Mal, at the time. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even when he said that if they cannot make it, they will have the money and the support delivered to their homes. And when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed by a funeral, it was a Jewish man, and he passed by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, stood up. So I said, Ya Rasulullah, he's not Muslim. Why you stand up for? He said, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam responded, Alaysat nafsan? Isn't that a human soul, a human life? So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam honored the human soul and the human life and stood up as the funeral procession of a Jewish man was passing by out of respect. This is the kind of teachings in Islam, in practical, how Islam ruled, how the justice that really illuminated the world, and how the humanity has taken care of everything. I don't care, if someone is basically disabled, elderly, poor, we're all taking care of whoever is under our roof. And that's really a very good social network or safety net. That's right now we see the safety net for the vulnerable population really getting almost evaporated or disappearing, and a lot of people are suffering because they're not getting the help that they deserve and they need. I'm saying the people who don't have a fault of their own, being elderly or being disabled or being poor and cannot help themselves and so on, they need help.
Okay. MashaAllah. Once again, we're running out of time. And I really wanted to encourage everybody, tonight being the very first night for you to get ready for the Recite on TV. So I need to put that up so you guys can think about this and be part of it, because let me see if I can kick that up there. We've been talking about the salam tonight with two things that we've had with the Recite on TV and this word salam. And what we find out is that the word Islam contains surrender, submission, and obedience, and in sincerity. But it contains more. It also contains the word security and safety and peace. Because whenever you hear the Arabs saying goodbye to each other, they like to say ma salama. And I thought that they should be saying salam alaikum. So I asked about that, and the scholars told me, they said, well, salam alaikum is very good because that's what Allah told us in the Quran, to spread the salams. But do you realize that whenever they say salama, that is the salams? Because salama also means the peace that is derived by being in safety and security. Right now, more than anything else, people want to be in safety and security, secure against disease, secure against people, racism, etc. So the things that are happening all over the world, I want peace inside of me. I want to be safe. I want to be secure. And that's exactly what Islam is. Because the word itself means that. If you will just do the first four, Allah will give you everything else. Surrender and submit to Allah by obeying His commandments. Be sincere with Allah. And then He will grant you the security, the safety, and the peace. And then there's something else that comes with it too, tranquility. Yeah. All of that is coming from this beautiful word, but it's all coming from Allah for anybody. If you just would like to say it in English, oh salam, say the word Arabic, and say salam. Oh salam, give me salam. You are the salam, and I need that salam. And with that, we'll roll out and trust everything to Allah. MashaAllah. Salam alaikum rahmatullah. Stay tuned and stay guided with
Guidance TV.
Yeah, that's TV.
Here are some ways to get Guidance TV. Via satellite on Galaxy 19 FTA. At this satellite frequency, transponder rate 5, frequency 11836 MHz, polarity